Hi there, this is Tommaso Zilli of musictheoryforguitar.com. Today we're going to talk about the ascending and descending versions of the melodic minor scale. Now, the traditional story is as follows. That's the story that you know about the melodic minor scale if you've been reading a book on music theory, or been through a university course or a college course on music theory, or if you've been reading around on the internet, on Wikipedia, etc. That's the story they give you. The story goes as this. First, there are two versions of the melodic minor scale. The ascending version, meaning going up, and the descending version, meaning going down. And that, in classical music, you use the ascending version every time you go up, and then you use the descending version every time you go down, and you shouldn't do the opposite. You should never use the ascending version whenever you go down in pitch. Okay? Now, the scales are like this. So let's do everything in A minor because it's an easy key. The ascending version is A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And that's the ascending version going up. The descending version is like the A natural minor scale, so it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Of course I have to play it going down, so A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Okay? So what happens is that you have to use the ascending version when you go up, the descending version when you go down, and it sounds this way. Okay, and it sounds good. It's not a bad sound at all. But it's strange that you are forced to do this. And specifically, the story goes, in classical music you are forbidden to use the ascending version going down. That's why it's called the ascending version. Meaning you are forbidden to play this. Which is not a bad sound at all, honestly. Okay? And again, as the story goes, the traditional story, it's only in modern times with jazz musician that some jazz musician decided to free the scale from this constraint and use the ascending version also going down as a scale per se, not tied to the natural minor. That's again how the official traditional story goes. And this story is complete poppycock. It's not true. In fact, even in classical music, you can use the ascending version going down. This is something, again, if you read a book on music theory, the book will completely contradict me. Okay? So, how can I prove to you this is true? Well, I refer to the superior authority of two composers. The first one is Antonio Vivaldi. Listen to this. This was an excerpt from the violin concert The Summer by Antonio Vivaldi. That's the third movement, Presto. And Vivaldi is using an ascending melodic minor scale going down. Let's see exactly how. The piece is in G minor. Okay, the first scale that Vivaldi plays going down is a G melodic minor ascending. Okay, and you can see those are the two specific notes. Then the second scale he plays down, it's a natural minor, a G natural minor. Then he plays another G natural minor. And then finally plays another G melodic minor ascending version. All played going down. So if Vivaldi uses this, you can use the melodic minor going down. That's one of the... I mean, we patterned all our rules of music theory mostly on composers like Vivaldi, Bach, etc., etc., etc. So the first one to put things together in what we call the common practice period, in which most of the rules of music theory are based. Okay, as usual, there are no rules in music theory, but we pattern the music theory on those people. And if this person, if Antonio Vivaldi uses a descending melodic minor scale, this means that there is no prohibition whatsoever in using the melodic minor scale going down. The ascending version, of course. Now, why he uses the scale going down? Because it sounds good. I mean, if you were to imagine the same piece only with a natural minor scale, it would sound like this. I mean, rather than sounding... it will sound this way, which is not the same. I mean, that's a melodic minor. And that's the natural minor, which is substantially darker and also not really nice. This sounds much better. You can say, of course, with that kind of speed, it's hard to hear the difference. Yes, but there is a difference, and that's why it uses this scale. It just sounds better. Now, is this the only example? No. If I go through all Vivaldi's production, I can find way more examples. And is Vivaldi the only one? No, not at all. For instance, just here, and again, this is just to show you that if the books or the college courses say that you can use the ascending melodic minor in classical music only going up, it's because they're out of date. Okay, because there is this nice thesis here. That's a master thesis called the Melodic Minor Scale in Selected Works of Johann Sebastian Bach by Sharon Louise Towndrow. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. It's Towndrow. Okay, that's a thesis in music theory for submitted for a degree of Master of Music at the University of Texas Tech University. Okay, this thesis here analyzes a number of work of Johann Sebastian Bach and finds that Bach essentially do exactly as he pleases. Okay, he doesn't follow these kinds of rules on going up and going down with the right kind of scale. Okay, this thesis has been written and accepted on December 1977. So we are talking about 40 years ago. Okay, so the fact that all this thing about ascending and descending melodic minor, it's not a rule, does not work, it's just a misconception, has been known for more than 40 years. If somebody tells you that in classical music you can use the ascending version of the melodic minor only going up, they are wrong. In classical music, in jazz, in any style of music, you can use the ascending version of the melodic minor in any direction, okay, going up and going down. Now, why this misconception started? Because when a classical musician, I'm thinking of the time between, I don't know, the 18th century and the early 19th century, when those people were teaching counterpoint, which is a specific part of music theory, counterpoint was taught by a series of exercises with specific restriction, and the restrictions were there to help the student to focus on a specific topic, on a specific little thing every time. And of course, all these restrictions were lifted at the end, and they were there only to help the student to do the right thing every time. Okay? Well, one of the restrictions of counterpoint is that whenever you go up, you use the ascending melodic minor scale, and whenever you go down, you use the descending melodic minor scale. But that's just a restriction for a student. Those are literally training wheels. Okay? It's not something that a musician is supposed to do. It was something specific for one exercise. The fact is today, somehow, people are reading those counterpoint books as the law coming from the sky, okay, the Ten Commandments tablets, okay, but it's not. Those are just collections of exercise. One exercise essentially was using this restriction, compose this piece of music, or write this kind of piece of music, or given this melody and this restriction, write something with it. And this restriction was there to help the student discover this sound, which is the ascending melodic minor going up and the descending melodic minor going down. But that's one among many possibilities. It wasn't supposed to be the law. And then later somebody just read those books, thinks they are the law, and then this kind of misconception gets propagated over and over and over in books of music theory. But in actual practice, musicians simply did not follow these rules. I can find example, again, we found an example from Vivaldi. There are many more examples from Bach in this thesis. You can download it, it's available online. I can find examples in Beethoven, I can find examples in Mozart, I can find examples in, you name it, okay? Practically nearly every musician whose name you know because they are famous in classical music uses the ascending version of the melodic minor going down at least once, even if the book says it's forbidden. So that's how it is. You can use any scale going in any direction forget about this ascending and descending business. It's not true. Take this scale and use it however you want. And until next time, enjoy.